Thanks for making the time for us, Amanda. The team here, Team Flowers, has been excited about doing this, and I'm just the figurehead for a bunch of talented people who are really excited to meet you and hear your story, and they've all become enormous fans of yours.
Aw.
I'm imagining this young gal comes from a regular American family in a regular American Ohio, and she has this dream, and all of a sudden her dream comes true. She moves to New York, and she becomes a rockette. How did your dream come true?
A lot of hard work, a lot of determination, a lot of lessons.
You danced from an early age?
I started dancing at age 10. And I fell in love with musical theater and performing when the high school asked middle school students to be part of a production. They were doing a Fiddler on the Roof, and I got chosen to be one of the children in the show. And it was the dress rehearsal of Fiddler on the Roof, and I'll never forget it. We were singing the opening number, Tradition, and I was doing the choreography, and my arms came up, and I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
No kidding.
And yeah. And I just knew I wanted to perform. And so when it was time to, go to school, I, begged and pleaded my parents to send me to some place that I would learn how, I could be on Broadway, a musical theater conservatory, or a great college that had a musical theater program. And I don't know how I did it. They let me move to New York City at 18 years old and go to a musical theater conservatory so that I could pursue my dreams of being on Broadway. I don't know why they decided that they were going to let me do that, but they did, thank God. And then I was luckily enough successful.
And so then the little girl goes off to New York, becomes a Broadway cast member, has this wonderful career, rocket first, dreams come true. Now your life is as busy as can be.
Yeah.
Everyone here was watching you on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, that was fun.
So great experience?
Oh, honestly, one of the best experiences of my life. I mean, it was incredibly hard, but just one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Is so healing, and what a journey. It really was a lot more than I expected. I knew I would love it, but I didn't realize that it would be so really kind of life-changing for me.
So what's going on now? You just finished Dancing with the Stars. You're doing the talk.
Yep. I'm doing the talk, finished Dancing with the Stars.
Do I understand that the book is going to become a movie?
The book is becoming a movie. So I'm writing that screenplay right now. I also created a Christmas movie with CBS, and I'll be starring in that, filming that this summer. So that's really exciting.
Give us a little hint of what it's going to be. You said
I was inspired by Hallmark movies. I love Hallmark Christmas movies, and so I was inspired by that and wrote an idea, a concept for a Christmas movie, pitched it to CBS, and so we'll be doing that, which is super exciting. Yeah, and I have a children's book in the process, in the works, and my fitness business that I run, of course. So I'm always working on that. I don't know.
And by the way, running a household and being a mom.
Yes.
Which hardly takes any time.
Right. No time at all. No worries there.
What do you do for help now with all the different things? How do you organize, Team Amanda?
Yeah, I have a lot of help. I have a manny and a nanny. They alternate days, and they help me, on a daily basis. Thank goodness. And I have a lot of great friends that also will come to my rescue and be with Elvis. So that's really helpful. It's a busy house over here for sure.
What do you want to have accomplished in the next 5 years? Is it building this entertainment empire that you seem to be on the path to do? And how does that reflect in terms of the rest of your life?
I don't know. I don't know what that answer is. I'm a vision board and whiteboard kind of girl.
Yeah.
But, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, do you think that you would be a talk show host with a New York Times best-selling book, writing a screenplay from it? I would have laughed in your face. So I don't know what the world holds. And I don't know if I even want to try to guess, because I feel like life is so full of surprises and these twists and turns that are so unexpected. And I'm just trying to be very present in the day and be excited about what the future holds.
Tell me how you exercise now, not physically, but emotionally, in terms of thinking about the things that you're grateful for.
You know, I do a lot in my car. I pray a lot in my car. I think possibly maybe because you're just driving around Los Angeles and it's so beautiful and the sun is shining. And so I tell God how grateful I am for the day, for my health, for the ability to be driving, to be going to a job that I love. Thank you for that. You know, I find all the little things that in a day that are worth remembering, that how lucky you have. You know, every time I look at my son, it's these little things. I always say, if you find one thing a day, you know, pick one flower a day that you're grateful for, at the end of the week, you have a beautiful bouquet.
Your incredible sense of community, of what sounds like good mental health, is striking, refreshing, and extremely attractive. But at the same time, I sensed in your writing your sensitivity to the fact that there's lots of people around us that aren't as healthy as they should be and are lonely. And it's confounding to me in some ways that we have this wonderful social media tool available to us. And it seems for some people to be exaggerating the sense of loneliness, seeing that everyone else has typically, or what they'd expect is the perfect life, whether real or not. In your own communities, in your own life, you come across people you think are suffering from loneliness as well?
I mean, that happens to me a lot of times. I mean, I'm a lot of times very, very lonely. I live alone. I mean, with Elvis, of course, but you know, I come home and if I put him to bed, I'm alone. I'm not talking to anybody. Yes, absolutely. You can get on social media and feel and think that everybody else has all these friends and this perfect life that you don't have. I think it haunts all of us. And I don't know, you know, I think we go through phases of it. And I think it's up to us to change our lives. No one can do that for you. So if social media has a negative impact on your life, then get off social media. You know, don't scroll through hours and hours of people's photos and lives, just wishing and hoping that you had photos and lives. You know, make a life, create a life for yourself. So I think it's up to us to change that narrative.
20 plus years ago, you're an 18-year-old kid in New York on your own. Was loneliness an issue for you then? I would imagine it would have to be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Like I said, I had no friends. I did not connect with anyone at my school for a little while. It was very hard for me to make friends. So I was, yes, very lonely. I mean, there's a part of me that also doesn't mind. I am an independent person. I don't mind doing things on my own, eating at a restaurant by myself, going on a walk all day long by myself. So there's a part of me that's okay with that, but then also I do very much feel and get lonely.
So I've never learned that.
Oh, really?
One time, long time ago, I was commuting to Dallas. We bought the company that had in it the number 1-800-Flowers. And so I'm spending a lot of time in Dallas away from my family. And I didn't always stay the weekend. I'd go down Monday through Friday and come back. I tried to get back for some part of the weekend. We had 3 little kids and a business here I was trying to run. Thank God my younger brother had graduated from college and I recruited him to the business, so I had backup. But one time I went to see a movie on my own. And it was at the Galleria Mall in Dallas, Texas. And the movie was Platoon. If you remember that movie about Vietnam. It was the worst movie I could have chosen to go to. I was in a bad way coming out of that movie theater, and I've never done it again.
I hear you. It's not easy. I think
I'm too old to change. I admit I need to be around people.
I think New York helped me through that. being in New York, or if you're eating at a restaurant by yourself, sitting at the bar or whatever, you're surrounded by people. So you don't necessarily feel alone.
But I sense, doing business and living here in New York and having lived in New York City, I have a sense that there are more lonely people in a place like New York City than elsewhere because of the anonymity, being lonely in a crowd, feeling like everybody else is in a big crowd and I'm not.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that can be for sure.
We talked about all the good things that have come, and the best thing I can imagine in your life is Elvis.
Yes, absolutely.
I also imagine Elvis is going to be a tall boy.
I hope so. I would.
I mean, look at the gene pool he comes from.
If he's 5'10",
6'5", come on.
He has very long legs. He's at the same height as everybody in his school, though. So I don't think he's extraordinarily tall just yet. But I shot up in 8th grade. Nick did too. I have no doubt that this child isn't going to be a very tall kid.
And is he singing and dancing yet?
Oh yeah, he sings all the time. His latest 2 favorite songs are "Who Let the Dogs Out" and "Bad to the Bone." I'm not kidding you. I put him to bed and I say, "What song do you want me to sing?" And he says, "Bad to the Bone." He's sad because he has to go to bed, but he's, "I want to sing Bad to the Bone." Or he'll go, "Who let the dogs out?" And then I'm like, "Who let the dogs out?" That's the bedtime song right now.
With Elvis has become famous. This Elvis, there was another one I think before that was pretty famous too. But what concerns do you have about his being well known?
I don't have any yet. I really don't.
He's not aware of it.
He's not aware of it, and he's such a special little boy. I can already tell. He's an old soul. I knew the second I saw him, and he's a beautiful little boy. I don't have any concerns at the moment. I'm sure I will as he gets older, but I'm okay. Right now we're in a good place, I think.
What's his attitude about autographs?
I'm sure he'd turn his cheek. He's a little shy with photos and autographs and videos.
So tell us, the book has got to be doing great, right?
The book is doing so well. I feel so grateful. I'm really happy about it and how it was received, and all the beautiful messages that people send me about it. It was such a cathartic, very therapeutic thing for me to write, a very healing process indeed. So I'm happy that people are liking it.
Yeah, it must be gratifying. What have you heard from people who said, "I got this, I've taken away this from reading your book," or taken away that?
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful messages about how it helped them in grief, how it helped with family bonds, how it helped them understand hospitals and hospital relations.
And how do they have to manage their own healthcare?
Yeah, everything. A lot of beautiful messages.
We've done a lot of work trying to understand the grieving process. We did a campaign. There's a friend of mine who grew up here on Long Island. His name is John Tesh. Great performer, a great composer, and he has a radio program that's syndicated around the country in 400 or 500 stations. And we started working with him a few years ago as a florist. Sympathy is an important category for us, but he can't advertise that product line. So what we decided to do is do an information service campaign. So I went to John and I said, "John, I'd love to market on your show, but I don't want to buy any ads." "What are you talking about?" I said, "Sympathy is an important category for us, and we find that people have so many questions about how to express themselves. And if we just go to the experts and find professionals and find people who have experiences and share those with our community and make that searchable and findable, that service would be beneficial." And he said, "Okay, let's give it a try." And he tells me it's the most engaged subject his audience in all the years that he's been doing this have ever responded to. Because it's hard to talk about, you're not sure what to do. Is there anything, having gone through the experience you just did with Nick, is there anything you would say to people about how they should express themselves to someone in their life who's in pain?
I think you just have to express yourself. I think you have to get it out. I really do. I think trauma will eat you alive if you keep it in. And what I've learned through writing this book, doing the audio book, dancing through this grief, and then now writing the screenplay, every time I express this story, it heals me in a new way. And it really takes weight off of that pain and that grief. And it's something I never expected it to do. And it is now my like number one piece of advice. Write it down, find a group you can talk to, do therapy, any way you can to release that pain and suffering, because otherwise it'll just eat you alive. And if you keep it in, you feel like no one else understands, no one else knows the pain, no one else has gone through what you've gone through. And no one else has gone through your experience, but people have experienced grief. And the more you talk about it, you don't feel alone. You feel understood and carried along. So I would just say express it.
And what about what would you say to people about how should they express themselves to you, to their friend, to their relative, to their neighbor who's going through a horrific time? Can they make a mistake? Can they say the wrong thing? What helped you?
I think just people being their authentic selves, coming over and just being themselves, not trying to put on a veil of, oh, I'm sad too, even if they are. It was just, if you're a helper, help. If you're a baker, come over and bake. If you are a comedian, come over and tell me jokes. Just be who you are. It's the people that come out of the woodworks that you haven't seen in 5 years, or that brand new friend that in a weird way become like your strongest confidants through this traumatic journey. It really it's very strange. It's like the unexpected people. It might not be your friend from life, or your best friend for the last 10 years. It's like that neighbor that you just met, or your coworker. It's very interesting. So yeah, I would say if your instinct is to go, to help, to say I love you, to send a card or flowers,
Or say I don't know what to say and give them a hug.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to know what to say. There's nothing right to say. Nobody has the right words to say anything,
Well, Amanda, I was sitting on a flight last 2 weeks ago, coming back from San Francisco, and I had this on my lap. I was taking good advantage of the 5-hour flight. A lady came by and she looked and passed on, and she sat about 5 rows behind me. She came back and she tapped the book and she said, I just read it too. Great book. And Amanda, that's what I want to say to you. A great and moving book. You shared so much, and anyone who read it will take a lot of good things from it. I know I did. And I especially appreciate you being so generous with your time today, because I've enjoyed getting to know you and living your life, and getting to know you even better through the miracle of modern telecommunication.
Yeah, modern technology. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
This has been a lot of interesting time for us, and we're better for having known about you and gotten to know you now. Thank you.
Thank you.